Welcome to Beauty and the Mess podcast. Today we've got Robert Palmer Watkins, actor, entrepreneur, host, and musician. Thank you
Hey,
so much for being here.
thank you
We
for
got
having
it
me.
all because you're a man of many talents, and you've definitely been the one to show me in my life how you can really do it all. You can have these different pieces and have success in each, which, I think a lot of people are thinking that it has to be this one thing, yet ultimately that's not true.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
I mean I think like I don't know, I've just always been a creative person, so anything in the arts I've been drawn to, you know. So
I love it.
it is I think acting and music and hosting and I think all of them kind of go hand in hand. I mean, I think you have your maybe stronger in one or two of those, but and then once you start getting a little career going with some of those things, like why wouldn't you want to branch out and be an entrepreneur? And there's opportunities, doors are opening up. So
Yes, yeah. And you always go with where your heart is, which I love. So kind of share with us your journey of how you got to where you're at. Now being in LA and acting, and I've seen you've been on some incredible shows lately. If you can kind of give us an insight into what your journey has been like.
it has been a roller coaster. I started out acting when I was in high school, and I loved it. I was always into the arts, always a creative, creative kid. And I did sports and I was athletic and stuff too. But I really felt like I clicked with my people when I started kind of getting into the arts. So I did my first play. My English teacher talked me into doing it, and they needed guys. I did it, loved it. Then I was like, you know what? I think I want to pursue this. So I auditioned for a Center for the Arts high school in Richmond, Virginia. And I actually, half of the day I went to my home high school, and half of the day I took a bus over and took my art classes over at that performing arts high school. And it was really cool because I got two different worlds. My home high school was very privileged, very it wasn't all white, but majority white or middle to upper class kids. And then I would take a bus over to the performing arts high school, which was a totally different demographic. I was a minority at that school, so it was definitely more African American and Mexican, and I loved it because I got two completely different cultures. I got this white dominantly white high school, and I got this completely different experience over at the arts high school where I felt like the minority, and I was learning about all these different cultures and all these different lifestyles, and it was amazing. And then I also got to take theater classes there, and my home high school had a theater program as well, so I was doing theater at both. So I just got a really well-rounded perspective and training at both these different high schools. And then I went to Christopher Newport University, where I majored in musical theater for about a year and a half. Loved that program, amazing. I was getting cast in a lot of the plays, which was rare as a freshman, sophomore. But I've been feeling the itch and the urge to get out to LA or New York pretty much since I decided I want to pursue acting. I've been feeling the itch to get to one of the cities where I could really, really do it. I'm kind of an all in or all out type of person. So as soon as I decided to be an actor, it was never like, yeah, I think I want to do some community theater when I grow up. Like, no, it was like, I'm going to go make it. And I don't know why, but I just have always strongly felt that I'm going to do it. And I'm really glad that that was my mindset, because I've realized now that, especially in the acting world, that's what it takes. You have to just know. Um, so I left Christopher Newport University. I auditioned for an acting conservatory up in New York called the American Musical Dramatic Academy. I got accepted into that. AMDA is what it's called for short. And they actually have a campus out in LA that focuses more on TV and film. So I decided to go to that campus. It's a 2-year program. I graduated from that. And since then, I've just been on the grind.
So how have you navigated your acting career? You started out where?
I started out doing commercials and short films, anything I could get, honestly. Student films, USC and UCLA and Loyola Marymount and Chapman. There's a lot of really good film schools around California, obviously. So a lot of those students that are about to graduate or have recently graduated, they've got little short films they're trying to start producing, and they're casting actors, and I might not be getting paid, but I'm getting experience. I'm building a resume. I'm building a reel. I did any and everything I could be a part of. I just went
Wow.
for it, regardless of whether it was paying or not. And I just started to build, and then I got a manager pretty quickly, which was awesome. And he started getting me out on some auditions. I started booking little commercials and some independent films, and low budget films and stuff. And then I started booking small little TV stuff, and then I started booking some bigger TV stuff. And then I booked General Hospital after about, I guess I'd been in LA for about 7 years, but I'd been finished. I'd finished AMDA, the acting conservatory, and it was about 5 years, 5 heavy hitting years of auditioning before I booked General Hospital. And General Hospital was, a 4-year contract of a lead character contract role. It was a huge opportunity and platform and open. Since then I've been, pretty consistently working. It's still scary.
Yeah.
As an actor, your every job ends. Every
Yeah.
job, no matter how big you are, you're playing a role, and eventually that show or that movie is going to be over, and then it's okay. What's next? So
How do you get through that? Like, what is your mindset around navigating that journey?
It's hard. It takes a lot of strength. It does. I would be lying to you if I said that I've completely figured it out. There's still days or weeks where I'm off and I'm feeling down, and I'm like, God, what's next? Like, how long am I going to be forced to bartend and drive Lyft and do these catering jobs in between acting and music? It can be a little bit of a kick in the balls, and it can be a little bit of it can be testing to your pride too. I mean, I'm at a point in my career where I've been on multiple shows. I've done movies that people have seen. I have a following. So to be working a catering event or bartending and have people recognize you and want a picture with you, as amazing as that is, and 10 years ago I would have been dreaming for that. Now it's like, God, this is kind of embarrassing. Like, you want a picture with me and I'm literally serving your table, so that can be difficult, but I also kind of enjoy it, because it's like, it keeps me humble.
I can feel that.
And it keeps me grounded, and it's like, it reminds me to really appreciate every job I get, because as soon as that job ends, you could be right back to serving tables, or, so keep that hunger. You can't get comfortable. You got to keep that hunger alive and really enjoy the job, because, they're few and far between. There's a lot of actors out here trying to get even an audition. So to book a job, like, own that moment, take it in when you're on set, meet people, get connected, get their Facebook, Instagram, phone numbers, really cherish while you're on set, because
So true. Yeah. And it's like we were saying before we had started, that this time during COVID-19 is really also showing us that, right? Like, regardless of whether it's the job or our life, to a degree at this point, we don't know how long we have left, right? It's like,
Right.
we're really being shown the extent of our humanity right now.
Yeah, and I think
your description of that is more relatable now than ever. Also inspiring for people that idolize the acting world and have that dream of getting into it, and then not allowing themselves to lose confidence, knowing that that's a part of it, right? I don't think that enough people talk about that, because you're not alone in what you're experiencing.
Yeah. I think, especially when people look at actors who have been on anything, any show or whatever, they just assume that actor, that entertainer's got it made now. And it's like, no, that actor has to go fight for another job now. And that actor is now out of work if that show ends, or if they've been written off that show, or it's a struggle until you're like an A-list, and even then it's hard. I mean, I'm sure even for, they've got a different set of problems. They might not be worried about their next meal, but think about all the huge stars that have they fall off, or they have a few bad movies and they're done. Yeah. So it's always a fight. So I think you're right. I think it's like, don't take things for granted. When you get an opportunity to do the thing that you love, really enjoy it, because you don't know when you're going to be forced to quit because of a physical problem, or because of a financial problem, or because of a quarantine that's got you locked inside. I mean,
right.
we take so many things for granted. Just going to the gym every day
right.
is a none of us can go to the gym right now.
Here in Austin, they're urging us to stay out of the park that, I run daily, which is our town lake. And it's like, that's outdoors. Like, it's a part of nature. Right. It really brings you back to reality, and we're like the reminder of the simple things, which is really coming down to it, people, right? And connection and truth and all the things that we've connected on in the past through personal development, and having the gift of that background to reconnect to in these times.
Right. Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that same. Our parks are closed. Like, how do you close grass? Like, I mean, there are still people out there. There's a few people that still try to go out there. I tried to go last week, and it was weird. I felt guilty even being there, because I was like,
I did too.
Like I'm going to get in trouble or something. So I've been really trying to stay inside.
Yeah. We're not technically like grounded from it. We're urged not to, but the problem is that people are having a hard time keeping the 6 feet distance,
right.
Which is, unfortunate in a way, yet also was kind of eye-opening for me, because it reminded me of just like our consciousness, and this is kind of why we're at where we're at.
Right.
In opening point. Yeah, it was just really opening my eyes and creating a deeper desire within me to really be in the moment and live more present, present to my distance between people and thoughts and actions, and just for more desire to be that present.
Right. I know. I agree. I had to go to the grocery store yesterday. I had to. I'm sorry. I'm out of food, And I went to the grocery store, and I was like, it was so hard to keep that 6 foot distance from people. And it makes you realize how in everyday life, we're not aware of like shit that's around us. We're looking at our phone, we're bumping into people, we're forgetting to hold the door open for somebody, because we're just in our own minds and in our own selfish thoughts,
Yeah.
It's this whole thing has been so interesting. It really has.
It has been. It really has. And, just thinking back to when you're in between jobs, or when you're starting a new side hustle, or doing something that you love, even, starting a new song, whatever it is, what would you say is really that spark that gets you motivated to do that next thing?
Well, for music stuff, I think it's like, it'll depend on kind of what I'm going through, and I'll be inspired by something, or something will happen throughout the day, or I'll have a conversation with somebody, or somebody will rub me the wrong way or the right way, and I'll think of a concept for a song, and that's that kind of, then I get excited. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, and I've got a great music producer, Brendan Martin, that I work with, and I just love hanging out with him too. He's like a brother, so that's just always a fun thing to do. And then for acting, I think I just get really inspired when I get, I mean, obviously I read scripts, and I'll read a play, or I'll be watching TV, or a movie. And if the writing is good, or the acting is really good, that inspires me. But a lot of times it's the auditions I get too. Some auditions I really connect with some of the characters. If I really connect with the character, and I can relate to, what's happening in the scene, then that excites me too.
That's awesome. So,
yeah.
That's awesome. I can feel that. So what is happening in Rob's personal life now? What has been your day to day?
Day to day has been, you're looking at it. I've been chilling. I've been trying to keep my mind productive, trying to stay productive. But I'm in LA, I'm right in Hollywood, and we are on pretty strict lockdown. We have been for about 3 weeks now, especially this last week. They've been pretty strict. I think the only, supermarkets are open with specific hours. Everybody's shortened their hours, but the grocery stores still are open, and like any place you can pick up food at is open, most places. But that's about it. I mean,
I was there 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. We've been trying to stay inside. I mean, honestly, it's one of those things where it's like I want to go out and I want to go take a jog, but the more stuff I'm watching on the news, and it's almost like we have a responsibility to stay in. It's almost selfish to be going out and running around and stuff. So I know you have to. I had to go to the grocery store the other day, but like we're trying to stay low key.
Are you dating?
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit. I am. It's been tough with the quarantine, but
Are you virtual dating?
Virtual dating. Thank God, right? For FaceTime and Instagram and all these different socializing apps. There's what's this new one? The party. What is it called? Party.
I don't know. What is it?
I don't know. I keep getting these requests from friends, and they're like, "Join my party chat," and it's like 6 people can talk at a time. No, I'm dating a little bit. Yeah, I'm getting back out there, or in here on my phone.
So how's that going?
It's good. I mean, I'm just kind of starting to be honest, because I had a really difficult 6 months. My house that I was living in Hollywood burnt down, half of it, so we had to move out. We were basically told we had to leave, so I was forced to move at a kind of a difficult time in my life, because I was in, it was one of those moments where I was in between acting gigs. So I was hustling. I was working little random jobs, trying to get paycheck to paycheck. And I did not have, a huge savings set aside to move when you're told to move, and it was a really tricky situation. But basically we were not getting any deposit back, any financial assistance to move. We didn't have any money to do so. So I literally lived in an RV for 5 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, and then we finally saved up enough money. Thank God my family set up a GoFundMe for me and the rest of the roommates. And between my followers and loyal fans from General Hospital and family and friends and me also hustling and working, we were able to save up enough to move into a new place. So we finally moved into a new place, and then I booked a small role on the new Walking Dead. So I flew to Virginia to film that. I flew to Virginia to film that.
Congrats.
Thank you. But we moved in to the place. I got the last box in, flew to Virginia, flew back a month later, set up my place, and then coronavirus pandemic hit.
Wow.
So it's been a bit of a bumpy last 5-6 months, but I'm grateful.
Yeah, your heart is open.
My heart's open. It's almost like I'm at this. I'm almost empowered right now, because it's like, all right, bring it on, world, because I feel strong.
I feel it.
I've gotten through it. We're not out of this yet, coronavirus, and I'm really worried about the economy and all the people who are sick and the family and friends who have people who are sick. But I feel like we are going to come out of this changed for the better in a lot of ways, actually. And I know everybody, that's a weird thing to say right now, but I just kind of feel like sometimes you got to be kicked down to really appreciate what you do have. And like we were talking about, we take things for granted so often.
Yeah, we're human.
Yeah,
so. And it really pulls us back, which, like you said, is the beauty of it. And I do believe that we're resilient. Our human spirit is resilient, and how we're all coming together is inspiring.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. What do you see for your life moving forward? What does it look like?
you know, I want us to get through this coronavirus, and this 2020. I really am excited to just find my passion again for my creativity. You know, I think now, like, I've got a career going. You know, I'm doing things. I just had a Lifetime movie air this past month. I did that Walking Dead, which is going to come out this spring. You know,
Awesome.
I've got my music stuff album that I'm working on. I've got these Funk It Friday music video covers I've been posting on Instagram. I've got content that's coming out. I'm doing it. I feel I feel I need to remember to find the artistry in it, like really the passion in it again. Not that
Mhm.
I've lost it, but I
Right.
think you're like hustle, 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 entrepreneur mode. It's you almost start to run it like a business, and
Yes.
you start to be on set going, okay, cool, let me make sure I've updated my Instagram today, and let me make sure that I've got this, let me make sure that I've got something to post for next week, and okay, I'm on set, but like, what's the next job that's coming? Okay, I just auditioned for that, I got a call back for that one, so hopefully it's like, I want to remember to be present in the moment, because, like, if I'm on set, yeah, it's good to be thinking ahead, but also enjoy that. Be there. I've already
Yes.
booked. I've booked that role, so be there. Like, that's the moment you need to be thinking about. So it's a balance, because I'm so proud of, like, the business mindset that I've gained over the past, few years with some of my different, endeavors, because it's really taught me to, like, stay productive, and what's the next thing, and okay, keep content coming out for music and Instagram, and whatever the case may be. But it's like, I don't ever want to lose what I'm really doing this for. And what I'm doing this for is to be an artist and to affect people and to be affected by people and reflect what's going on in the world. And, like, so yeah, I think, I don't know if I know that was a long-winded answer, but
I I love that, and that is so inspiring because you inspire other people by authentically sharing that. Because I think that as artists, as an artist myself, I feel the same way during this time. I've really stepped into helping more people, yet I've been mindful, and I've really had to force myself to take time for myself to create. And I still have
right,
an art piece that I haven't painted yet. It is that presence of when you feel it, you kind of got to like
gotta
embrace
do
it
it.
and move
Right,
forward and do it. Right. Right.
right,
Because that is what actually keeps us going. And it's so easy to forget that.
right,
Right.
right.
We don't have our creativity and really honor that, it's easy to lose.
You've been an artist now for a long time, right? And you have a process, and you probably have a system where you can get stuff done pretty quickly, and it's still going to look beautiful and awesome, right?
Yeah.
Just like
Yeah.
me I'm at a point with my acting where, obviously I'm not, we're both going to get better and grow and change, and there's always stuff to
Right.
learn. But we're at a point where, like, we're creating, we're proud and confident with our work. I can do an audition now and kind of wing it, and it's going to turn out pretty good because I know how to, like, naturally click into the acting.
Right.
But I don't want to, like, surface level it.
Yep.
And I don't want to be, sometimes I'll wait, I'll procrastinate, or I'll put it off, or I'll do it when I'm not feeling it. And it's like, I want to find the joy in it, always.
Always.
And really, like, take my time and have, even if it's just an audition, like, that might be the only time I get to play that role, that character, for that 3 minutes. So take your fucking time, Robert. This might be the only time you get to do it, and it's your time to take, so do it. um
Such an important message because we all forget. We all
yeah,
forget.
right, right. So, but it's a balance. It's just like everything in life, it's a balance. You got to have, especially us as artists, like, so many of the best artists I know don't ever get anywhere with their, selling their art, or getting to perform, or making a career out of their art, because they don't have enough of the business mindset.
Right.
They're too free spirited with it. So I've really worked on, and I was that way for sure when I was
Me
growing
too.
growing up. So I'm really proud of the entrepreneurial side of me that I've kind of built and the business side of me that I've built. But now I feel like it's time to kind of find that happy medium, you know, because you have to have both. If you're going to have a career, if you're going to have a career out of it as an artist, you have to have both.
Yeah,
so.
For sure. Especially in today's world.
Yeah.
And yet, you know, that's the beauty of the growth, right? Because you've been able to prove to yourself these aspects of the entrepreneur and, you know, the leader in your business of what you can be.
Right. Yeah. Totally. What's your painting that you're working on this weekend?
You know, I wanted to actually, I don't even know what I'm going to do, but I wanted to create an abstract piece of art. And then when I was younger, I used to like write the word love in this, I don't know, loop-de-loop kind of way that I don't even do anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm going to attempt to airbrush that, which is like how I did the mural. I think I showed you my like outer space galaxy mural back in Costa Rica. Yeah. I haven't airbrushed since then. So nice. I don't know. I just kind of want to experiment with cursive.
That'll be awesome.
Which I haven't done since I was a kid.
Yeah. So awesome though. So talented.
Thank you. Very surreal. But you know, I think as artists, we surprise ourselves, right? Because we never know what we're capable of until we do it. And then it's like, oh my gosh, right? You kind of tend to surpass things when you really fully step into them, like you were saying. Like when you really fully show up, you meet this part of yourself that you often don't even have words for.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, I've finally been working on my music stuff, which I was putting off for song, and I don't know why. A part of me was insecure about it. You know, acting is my main thing, and I do believe in, put laser focus on what you really want, and that was my mindset with acting. So that's kind of why that was my excuse as to why I kind of was putting music on the back burner. But I started to realize that they go hand in hand.
They do.
And one feeds the other, so, and I started getting in the studio. I kind of put it out there into the universe that I wanted to find somebody to guide me and mentor me. And I got my buddy Brendan, my music producer, who happened to meet him, and we just clicked right away. And he's so talented, and he's been in the music business as long as I've been in the acting business. So it's really cool to be kind of like a mirror image of me, only he's with music, I'm with acting. And so we've just started creating some really cool stuff. And I'm really proud of it. And you're right. It's like, it shows you this side of you. You feel so empowered by it, because you're like, why have I can do this?
Yeah.
I'm doing this. Like, this is good. Why have I been hiding from this?
I am so happy to hear that, because I've always loved your music, and I remember messaging you. I remember messaging you at one point, like, create some music.
Yeah, you did. I know. Yeah, well, there's a lot of time now. The next couple months, we might be having a lot of time on our hands to create. The problem is leaving the house. You gotta be creative in your little space, which is fine. I'm finding ways.
It's a new challenge.
It's a new challenge. That's right.
Yeah.
New opportunity for growth.
Yep. And whatever you create inside is going to flourish as soon as you're outside.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is, kind of the way I've been thinking about it, is like, okay, this is no different than a retreat. I play full out here. I give myself time to rest. I give myself to wander and do absolutely nothing. And
thank God for technology.
Yeah, truly. Thank you so much for being here. Any kind of insights that you want to share? That
I think the word patience has been like really important to me lately. Patience with situations, patience with people, patience with myself. I'm coming out of a pretty traumatic 5-6 months with the house fire, living in an RV, trying to save up enough money to move, getting a new job, having a little bit of a win, towards the end of 2019 with the Walking Dead role, and then right back into the fire with this whole coronavirus. And it's hard to stay optimistic and positive. But I think, like, I don't know, in some ways I'm more stressed out, but in some ways I feel so healed from old wounds, and I've overcome so many things through some of these traumatic events, that now the coronavirus, as bad as it is, I do know that in the end we're going to come out of it. And in the end, like, there are lessons that we can learn here that are positive, even though all these negative things are happening because of this, the economy, the sickness, the deaths, the heartache, the distancing from people. There are positives that we can learn from this. And I think just be patient, that we might not even understand what those are yet, but if you look for them, they're there if you want to find them. So just allowing for that time. And it might not make sense right now. It might take a few months for you to for it to click, and you to go, oh my God, while I was in quarantine, I think I learned something about myself, or about my roommate, or about my partner, or about my, you know what I mean? And sometimes you don't even know you're learning a lesson while it's happening. You're just living and getting through it. But
yes.
So.
And then all of a sudden it pops up and you're like, wow.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah.
So have patience.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for being here. I love seeing all that you're doing, and I am inspired by your courage and consistently overcoming challenges that are in front of you. I mean, ever since I've known you, you've just really been that leader in how to overcome challenges with grace, really, because you've always had a positive attitude. And maybe at times it's not always positive, but it's authentic. And I think that that's what is inspiring, because you allow your humanness to be seen. And right. I so appreciate that, because it's needed.
That means a lot. I think that's an accurate description. I think even if I'm not being positive, I find a humor or something in the situation that is, stay laughing, people, because honestly, I don't know what we would do without humor, But yeah, I try to keep it. Thank you for saying that. I try to keep it pretty real. I don't know how else to do it.
You do.
You're amazing, and you inspire me. Thank you so much for having me on. And you stay washing your hands, stay clean.
I will.
Stay inside.
Wash with my hands and paint with my hands. That's it.
Yeah, that's right.
Thanks for joining us on Beauty and the Mess. Feel free to visit Robin on Instagram at Robin_Emmerich. Keep on living your beautiful life and embrace the mess.